I just want to say first off, very nice to see both of you. Thanks out again for coming, like everyone else has said. But my question that when you were working on a lot of these shows during the '80s, and they had these huge gluts of characters, just with more toys coming out, and they became more and more. When all of you were gathered around the table and whatnot, had to sort of divvy up the roles, how exactly did you go about it? You've always been known for playing Bumblebee, Dan, but how'd you get the role of Hotspot? Was it just fair enough then.
Buy this book. It is in there, and I'll tell you what the answer is. You were allowed in those days, and I think still, to do 3 voices for the same price. So we all had a main character that we were doing. And when we had a table read usually before recording the episode, so everybody knew what was going on. And Wally we'd come to a new character. There'd be skid mark or whatever, and Wally'd go, who has less than 3? And the hands would go up, and he'd go, Alan, can you do a skid mark? And Alan would go, is this okay? Yeah, that's fine. Let's move on. And that's the way those characters were picked.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of thought behind it. Now, for the larger roles that came in, like Hot Rod, when he came in and became more and more, more of a character, a larger character, then they would hold auditions. But the smaller couple of liner things, it was just thrown out there.
Sure.
And we did them. As a matter of fact, I did Outback, and Greg Berger also claims to be Outback. And I think what happened was either he or I was not at a session, and they said, who can sound like, who can do the hotspot? And probably, Greg or I did it. And so we actually split the role somehow. And he does a good me. So I think he was the one who actually stepped in. But yeah. Those roles were just given out like candy.
But I remember when Mel Blanc, the great Mel Blanc, was in the hospital, and they said to us, okay, he can't do this, so who can imitate Mel? And none of us put up our hand out of respect for Mel. And actually they took a recorder to the hospital and asked him to record in the hospital. Wow. I don't know whether he did or not, but none of us would dare, out of respect, do anything that Mel had done. I'll tell you another anecdote, if I may, about Mel. I'd worked with him on a couple of shows. Anyway, we were in the hallway, and Joe Barbera came down the hall with 3 Japanese animators who were visiting. This was in the 70s. And Joe said to the Japanese animators, now this is Alan Oppenheimer, and this is Mel Blanc. You remember Mel Blanc? And they go, yeah. And so Joe said to Mel, say something. He went, what's up? Mel Blanc meant nothing, but that character did.
Yeah. Well, he was the king, and I think Frank Welker has taken his place. He's the modern day Mel Blanc. Frank can do anything. He's incredible.
Ask him to do a fountain pen; he'll put a voice to it.
Yeah, exactly. He's incredible. Also, there are sometimes contract negotiations in animated shows, and the producers will put out a call to see who can do such and such voice. And if you have any class at all in this business, you refuse to audition for that, because what they're trying to do is either force that actor to work for less money or find a replacement.
It's true.
And out of respect for our fellow performers, most of us will not get involved with that.